Let's spend the next 4 days exploring a new area.
Last night was interesting. A little extra challenge I wasn't necessarily planning for, but nothing we couldn't overcome.
Coming down to Central Florida to explore the Anclote Keys, I was hoping for some warmer weather. Well, that didn't happen, but the cold and windy weather didn't hamper me much. It just added to the adventure. I'd heard a lot about how amazing this area is, and it was finally my time to see it for myself. Even with a few unexpected challenges to overcome, I was able to learn about the area and take in the beauty of the wildlife and these barrier islands, which over the last 60 years have grown quite a bit thanks to Mother Nature. So what's so special about this area? Well, let's find out. This adventure begins on mainland Florida, where I launched at the Anclote River Park. To launch, it costs a whopping $10 for 24 hours that you plan on leaving your truck and trailer at the ramp. That's a bit steep, but it was the best option I found. The launch was fairly nice, and it did provide a good jumping off point that was close to my area of exploration.
Alright, this adventure is underway. I love exploring a new area. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what you're going to find. You never know what kind of experience you're going to have. But, as I always say, it's always an adventure. So let's go, exploring new horizons. Certainly get a straight trip. Certainly one of my favorite things to do. So there's an old abandoned lighthouse. On Anclote Key, which is the northernmost of the barrier islands we're going to be exploring. And I think I can see it now. It's acting as a beacon to guide us out of this channel. That's something I plan on visiting tomorrow.
Adventure is defined as an unusual and exciting, typically hazardous experience or activity. Wow, what a great definition, because that is exactly the thing I'm looking for out here. And I think we all look for a bit of that in our own lives. This is where I find mine.
Right now we're putt-putting through, 3 feet of water. Everything is seagrass, and I'm looking for a sand patch to toss my anchor in. I did see one on Google satellite images, but I have zero service out here, which is not a big deal, kind of a good thing. Once we find this sand patch, though, we'll drop the anchor. Perfect. Well, this is going to be our spot for tonight. We have some protection from North Anclote Key from the wind and the waves, so it should be nice and calm. And we're here just in time to catch a bit of the sunset. I can't tell you guys how good it feels to be exploring a new area, back on the c-dory. Thank you guys for being here with me.
During the night, I woke up and felt the boat rocking in an unusual manner. Typically when anchored, I expect the waves to be hitting us on the bow, which would cause a fore and aft motion. Well, the boat was rocking side to side. Now, looking at my GPS, I noticed that we drifted probably nearly a third of a mile. Here you can see after my attempt to re-anchor, the boat is slowly drifting while swinging on the anchor, causing these zigzag lines. On my second attempt to anchor, I head to shallower water hoping to find sand so that the anchor will be able to bite into the bottom. But it wasn't very long before I realized this area just wasn't going to work. Right now it's 5 a.m. I just can't get good holding anywhere. We held for a little while back there, but it wasn't good enough. So now I'm just going to go to the southern end of Anclote Key, where I wanted to be tomorrow, and there looks like there is a sandy bottom there, close to the lighthouse. Hopefully it'll be better holding. Now we just got to dodge the crab pots between here and there, and I think there's going to be a lot of them. Y'all, we got a boat out here. It's a catch sailboat. I don't know if it's an anchor or something, but it is completely unlit. That is so dangerous. What's going on with it? If it's just a derelict boat, it is unlit. No anchor light. I'm glad it wasn't running. I may not have seen it. What time is it? You don't know what time it is. My God, this is a crappy watch. My tick watch. 5:29 in the morning. Just set out 2 more anchors, and it's really sketchy coming into a unknown harbor / anchorage at night. So I just do it nice and slow. Follow my phone and follow my Simrad GPS. Now we have 2 anchors out, and I'll be watching my swing rate once again. Now I'm going to wait a few minutes, be sure we don't drag again, and I'll lay down and try to sleep for a little while. Always an adventure, but this is kind of exciting, I guess, a little bit. I mean, maybe not exciting, but this is testing me, testing my skills, my knowledge, my confidence, and all that good stuff. So it's good. I managed to get a bit more sleep before the sun woke me up. I didn't realize it in the dark, but I found myself in a magical spot with astounding beauty and teeming with wildlife in the shallows, enjoying the morning's rays. Last night was interesting. A little extra challenge I wasn't necessarily planning for, but nothing we couldn't overcome. At least we have a beautiful sunny day today, although it is a little cool and a little windy, but it's going to be colder tonight. I guess we should go explore the lighthouse, huh? A big thanks to LMNT for sponsoring this adventure and for becoming a daily staple in my life for over a year now. I typically consume it together with my creatine every morning before I work out, but it can be for anyone. A mom, a hardworking dad, but it's also regularly consumed by high-performing athletes who understand what their bodies truly need. LMNT is only 10 calories and only comes with benefits with 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. But along with those benefits, it's a great tasting drink to replace something you're already drinking and paying for with a healthy option that is just as satisfying to your taste buds. Maybe you're into fasting like I am. Well, it doesn't break your fast either. I'm going to put a link in the description below that gets you a free sample pack of 8 LMNT flavors with any purchase. You can use the sample pack to find your favorite flavor, or maybe give some to a friend or family member to try. So visit drinklmnt.com/TripSmith to get your sample variety pack and enhance your own adventurous life. After checking the tide charts, I knew the c-dory would be safely aground for most of the day, but floating by the time I was ready to venture further. But I wasn't the only one taking advantage of the outgoing tide. There were hundreds of birds having a good breakfast out on the flats. Before I made it to the lighthouse, I spotted a park ranger coming my way. Luckily, he wasn't telling me that I couldn't be there.
Wow, this is pretty cool. Nice little treat. And there's something special about this lighthouse that I learned in one of my favorite books. I'll share with you guys. Last night, when I was moving south this way, I used this light to help guide me, actually. So, hey, it may not actually be really in use, like official use anymore, but it's still handy. Tower constructed 1887. The lens is a 4th order Fresnel, range of 12 miles, 101 feet tall, focal plane 110 feet, whatever that means, 127 steps. Light was automated in 1952, extinguished in 1984, and then restored in 2023. Yeah, so I think the way these worked, a Fresnel lens, they used to actually be powered by like a flame. Then the Fresnel lens was special and like magnified the flame or something like that. It's really pretty neat. Learned all that in a Jimmy Buffett book, believe it or not. A Salty Piece of Land. A must read. This is beautiful. I wish I could go up there though. Oh, it'll be open for climbing the 2nd weekend of each month. Crap. I would have planned that. I would have been here. Oh man. Oh, that would be amazing. I didn't know you could actually climb it. Golly. Oh well, it's all right. While the tide's low, I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of it and move my anchor to a very sandy spot right here so that I'll be comfortable tonight, because I don't think there's any need for us to go anywhere today because it's just not the most best weather. And I'm wore out. And we got to explore the lighthouse pretty good. I like that. Oh. Comes back in, boat floats up around the anchor. She'll have plenty of sand to settle in for the night. So I think next I want to, or I don't want, well, I kind of do want to. I'm gonna go hop in the water and take a quick little rinse, kind of clean myself up a little bit. But it is still cold with the wind blowing, so this is gonna be like a bit of an ice bath. It's, oh crap. Yeah, it's pretty chilly. Trip dip. Oh. Now the water's all nasty. Let's get to some clean water. Oh. pretty cold. That wind doesn't give you a break. Okay, turn it off, get the cracks and crevices. Okay, that's good enough. It's cold. The boat's always afloat, so I want to get this done. I'm alright, I'm alright. Windbreak in the boat, much better. Let's get dried off. Since this is an area that I've never been to before, I'm not familiar with it, I don't know the points of interest or things like that, I'm using a new app that I learned about called Ditch. I have it here on my phone and on my tablet, but I've also been using it on the computer at home before I got here for some pre-planning. Let me show you what it'll do.
What makes Ditch interesting to me is that it gives you some local knowledge of a given area. Preparing for this trip, I started looking around the area I was wanting to explore. Now, to get these features to work, you need to register for a free account. Once you've done that, you can start exploring the capabilities of AI routing that is generated from local knowledge. All of these tracks that you see are from boats running the AIS tracking system. The blue tracks are from boats deemed to have local knowledge, while the gray tracks are other boats. Here I am placing 2 waypoints, and while this technically isn't a navigation app, Ditch is great for getting an idea for a safe route to travel that's backed up by actual boat traffic, not just depth contours like your typical chart plotter may use to suggest a track. Here you can see where the AI assigned the orange track that it learned from the blue tracks. Now, what I've found most interesting is using the View All Paths in the vicinity feature and exploring the tracks for clues. If I zoom out, I can get an idea of where people are traveling, like all these gray paths, which are probably from vessels making their way south along the Great Loop. Then, if I zoom in, I can see something is going on in this area. Maybe some good fishing there. Another interesting spot I found was down in South Florida. What's going on here? I'm guessing someone scanning the bottom, maybe looking for a lost shipwreck full of gold. Or, if I come back to some waters I'm more familiar with, I can see the standard flow of boat traffic. But when I look around some more, it looks like there might be some good fishing out here. Zoom out a bit more, and wow, something is definitely happening out here. I would never have known that. I'd like to challenge you guys to hop on Ditch and look around your local waters or some place that interests you and see if you can learn something about the area you didn't already know. Myself, I'm kind of a map nerd, so this is really cool to me.
The birds are absolutely amazing right now. So's the steak. The boat just broke free. We're spinning. Be sure we stay off our anchor, which you don't need to be prepared for that. If we start to float over the anchor, I need to jump out and stop it because it will scratch the bottom. It's getting cold. Tonight is the cold night, so I'll be ready for that. All right, here we go. We're moving. Anchor is right there. Looks like we're gonna miss it. Okay, good. I'm going back to the cabin where the wind is not so cold. I might have to bundle up. I'm talking socks and toboggan and probably my vest just to hang out in the cabin in here. The good news is it's supposed to warm up quite a bit tomorrow. Like, I don't know, 10 degrees warmer tomorrow than it was today, and like half as windy. Thank goodness. You like my hat? I wore it just for you.
As the sun sinks down, I look around and I see that everyone is soaking up the last bit of warmth before the cool night sets in. Now that I'm about 24 hours into the adventure, I start to get in the groove of being disconnected from the busy, fast-paced world. You know, being connected certainly has its benefits these days, but I think there's more to be gained from experiencing the other side of the spectrum from time to time. Taking a step back and and a look around, there's a different feeling being out here that can't really be explained, only experienced.
Temperature's definitely dropping. I think it's time to get the socks out. Been a little trash. Been a little careless, been a little lazy. That's much better. It's actually fairly warm in here. I think I'm gonna sleep good. And the fact that the wind's not blowing 90 freaking miles an hour. That's a lot of what caused us to drag last night. But I did think that we were anchored initially on a sand bottom. But I guess that hole was grassy on the bottom. I think I'm gonna sleep fantastic. And I'm ready for it. And it's gonna be warmer tomorrow. Ooh! Bring it on. I think we're out of fuel. No, we got fuel. Oh wait, that needs to be there, Trip. You knew that little thing. Ta-da! Silly me, of course. Well. Feels good to get off the anchor and underway. There's a few more barrier islands. Actually, there's a lot of barrier islands a long ways south, but the next two is Three Rooker Island and maybe like North Three Rooker Island. We're gonna go check those out. Those are a little more remote than this one. Then as the day warms up, I think we're gonna head back to North Anclote. There's supposed to be just a really gorgeous area up there. Maybe this water will clear up a little bit because the winds yesterday kind of stirred things up. Turned out to be rougher than I expected out here. Backside of this island is really protected in this current wind direction. Could be a good spot to anchor for the night. I was kind of hunting for a good spot. And it appears to be all sand bottom. That's in our favor. Made it to the southernmost point of Three Hooker Island. And right over here is Honeymoon Island, and the wind is blowing off the shore, which means it's pretty calm out in the Gulf. So I'm gonna sneak out into the Gulf and see if I can find somewhere to kind of stop for a few minutes, because there just isn't really a good place. And that's what I'm looking for. Somewhere to stop. It is nice and smooth out here. Breeze cold still. Let's see, we'll go this side. Ooh, that's hard to do. Don't drop the camera trip. I just spotted something cool. Let me get a shot of it coming. This is the trip dip, calling the southbound c-dory 25 around Three Rooker.
This is the c-dory Ellis. Returning your call. How about we switch channels and we'll chat?
Copy. Funny, I just named the boat Trip Dip, right? Although technically, I'm not going to name the boat, but if I did, it would probably be Trip Dip. So he's southbound. I'm going to think he's a looper. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to make a quick list of things I need to add to the boat, which some of these things I already knew about. And I'm in my bullet journal. This is my third bullet journal, so my third year bullet journaling. And I really like it, and I'm looking forward to starting 2024 with another bullet journal because it is so handy to me. All right, boat gear list. We need some binoculars. I want a thermometer. Has to go in the cabin here so I know how cold or how hot it is. That's all I can think of right now, although there's a lot of other things. What else do I need? To be continued. before we move on, we're gonna go ashore for a few minutes. And right here, it's about 4 feet deep if I were to get off, maybe 5 feet. But I dropped the anchor in super shallow water. Ooh. You can see how well the anchor set in a foot and a half. In we go. Woo! It is chilly. It's colder than I want it to be.
As I come ashore on the north point of Three Rooker Island, I can't help but think how this island emerged from the waters as currents and waves built up the sandbar in the 1980s, and by the 1990s, there was enough sand here for vegetation to establish itself to stabilize the sand, making it more resistant to a storm which could easily wash it away. Like the island, I was also born in the 80s and have experienced both the growth and shifting sands of time.
Island's getting bigger. What? There we go. Got me a new running shoe. We'll take this back to the boat, clean it up. There we go. Beautiful toss. I always try to pick up some trash wherever I go. It's the right thing to do.
I spot another southbound vessel, the motor yacht Unity from Tellico, Tennessee. I know she's making the Great Loop, which is evident by the AGLCA flag on her bow, which stands for America's Great Loop Cruisers Association.
Now that I've done my part, collected a few souvenirs, let's head back to the boat and we'll get fresh in this clean, well, yeah, the water's clean, but it's cold water. Can't feel it. It's cold, y'all, but it's okay. I like getting fresh. Man, I soaked the boat. Good for her, though. All right, let me get my cracks and crevices. So I've been debating on going into town. One of you good people are watching my Instagram story and said, Trip, you got to go into town. And I forgot what you said to try, but rust bellies and Captain Jacks or something. Well, I got online, did some research. And I don't think they allow boats to dock there to eat anymore. I could go to the city marina. It'd be, $40 or something for the night. Like $20-25 to eat. Now, if I could dock somewhere for free, yeah, I'd go explore. When I've got this really good weather out here, it's hard for me to go far. And I'm starving now. Eating my ground beef, but I've got something interesting for supper. My wife got me this for my birthday. It's a Scout seafood snack. Wild yellowfin tuna in olive oil, plus chili jalapeno crunchy topper. Oh, don't spill it, Trip. There's a lot of olive oil in there. You guys see it? It'll almost spill. So let's pour it in. Get our tuna in there. Oh, it's got pumpkin seeds. Is that a corn kernel? Who needs that? I'll just see that again tomorrow. You can't digest a corn kernel. Mix her up good. Have to let this stuff kind of sit and rehydrate a little bit, maybe. Smells pretty darn good. Let's see if it's crunchy. What's that? What flavor is that? Like a Cajun Creole-ish. Pretty good though. The corn's still crunchy. Great flavor though. Pretty healthy little treat here. 350 calories, 33 grams of protein. And the sun coming in this window is so warm. I love it. But you go outside and the breeze is blowing and it's a little chilly. But in here, I'm protected. It's fantastic. I'm all clean. Got a shower and a shave.
It seemed like a good decision to stay out and enjoy the rest of the day on the Anchor. After all, I wanted to disconnect from the mainland anyhow. I'd rather be soaking up the sunshine and life around me, do some reading, maybe some deep thinking, maybe no thinking at all. That's one of my favorite parts about adventuring and adventuring alone. You can do absolutely nothing and still gain something from it. And what better place to do nothing? I wasn't going to complain. You can see I did wake up in a slightly different spot this morning. Soon after dark, the wind shifted just enough to bring in a bit of chop where I was anchored, so I moved just a mile or so into the lee of the Howard Park Island. It was nice and calm, and the morning brought this gorgeous sunrise coming through the palms. Gosh, what an incredible gift to wake up to in the morning. This was my last morning on the boat, and I didn't want to rush it, but I also knew I had a 6-hour drive back home ahead of me. My movements were intentionally a little slower this morning. My time around the Anclote area was certainly special. I look forward to returning when it's a bit warmer to get the full experience, as there is a lot that I missed. I'm not sure what the next adventure will bring, but I am certain it will be just that, an adventure. You'll have to wait and see what's coming down the line. Thank you for watching, God bless, and I love you.